didn't get to talk to you after the series, so kind of give us your thoughts now that it's over and the missed opportunities and the things that you see in hindsight.
Yeah, I mean, Friday, obviously a really well-played college baseball game. Both sides, Paul was Paul. Great performance by Trey. Great road win. Saturday, facing a really good pitcher who'd made it tough on teams the last 3 weeks. Got off to a pretty good start. Was pretty proud of the at-bats. I mean, 4 innings, 90 pitches. We had a situation in the third where bases loaded, nobody out, 1-0, and the best, 2 hitters in the country that come through for us every time. And, we're only able to get 1 there. And then the next inning, I believe we're right back in that spot with 2 outs, and Dylan hit a ball hard. And if that ball sneaks through the left side, now you're looking at they're chasing 4 or 5 runs. Makes it a different game. But Ty, I thought, was outstanding to start the game. Can't pitch any better than he did. And then, the 4th inning, just kind of lost command of the zone. I thought Gavin did a nice job right there to come in a tough spot. Walked the first guy to walk a run in, but then got a strikeout, against a really good hitter to, give us a chance. And then we come right back and score, and it's 4-3. And then we're just kind of in that weird time in the game where you got 12 outs to get, and you're going to need more than 1 or 2 guys to do that. And Javen gave us a clean 5th after we scored, and then ran into a little trouble with the zone. And then Bryce came in and gave up a hit and a walk, and then found a way to keep it at 2 runs. And in the 9th, I mean, you're 1 pitch away from Dylan coming up as the go-ahead run. So, it was a good, tough game against a good team. And then yesterday they beat us, and we didn't play really well. Walked a bunch of guys in the first inning, put us in a tough spot. And they have a good offense, as they showed. And, we just never really quite got going yesterday.
They're going to struggle to find a zone. Is it man? Is that external factors, mental?
I mean, it could be a number of things, and we looked at those things, and we'll address them the best we can and put those guys in a better position to be successsul this week.
Can you use that as a positive? What happened this weekend, losing that, and then the rankings today? Is that all?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I know. I actually, in the best way possible, I think we've only used that to our advantage the entire year. And what I mean by that is the players understand that relative to what happens on the field and results, it's completely irrelevant, and it has been from day one. So it'll remain that way. I mean, as competitors, obviously you love being on top, and my hats off to them for how they've handled that. And I don't see that as anything.
Down moment or anything?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what to tell them, to try harder. No, that's not the issue with this team. Relative to that, I mean, what we'll do is we'll make some adjustments that we need to, whether it be mental or physical, kind of as Michael was saying, and then get back on it. And that's all that they've done, and excited about that. Woke up incredibly energized this morning to get into this week.
Do you feel like you're kind of back in scramble mode with the pitching?
No. I mean, I think it's always evaluation mode for what do we need to do to win, and excited about tomorrow and getting guys out there and executing and improving and doing something to try to help us win a game tomorrow. And then, you're in a great place where you're starting off with on the weekend with Paul. And, this isn't a pitching staff that hasn't had guys we haven't not pitched well the entire season. We have some injuries, and we have some guys that have pitched well that didn't pitch well on Saturday and Sunday. And that's how I see it. So you go back to where you get to execution with each of them, and that's what we'll do. And there'll be some shifting in personnel and those types of things to help them all be in a position that they can be successful and ultimately get 27 outs with as few runs crossing the plate as possible. Like I said, Friday, can't do it any better than that. It's a beautiful start, and it's, 2 relievers, 18 pitches, between Ackenhausen and Hurd. You can't draw it up any better than that. And then, like I said, I mean, Ty was as good as you could ask for the beginning of that game, and that really excites me about him. And then we were just kind of and as a coach, from the outside, you don't understand this. You're just in this really difficult spot where we still have 12 outs to get. And Javen, we got to kind of get him going. So it was the right spot and right time to bring in. He was amazing in the 5th. And they just kind of lost it a little bit in the 6th after a long inning. And then we just had trouble getting outs after that. But stayed in the game, scored a couple more runs to give ourselves a chance to win. So on face value, Saturday, as you lost a tough game on the road against an SEC team where we gave them more free bases than they gave us. That's Saturday. And then yesterday, just put ourselves in a really bad spot early and did not dig out of it. So I'm excited about. I still think there's enough guys to execute the way we want to win weekends, to win games, and we just got to get them a little bit better and get them in the right spot to be successful. And we're gonna work hard at that this week.
How did the players kind of respond to this weekend, and what are you hearing from them?
Yeah, I mean, we talked very briefly after the game yesterday of just improvement, and again, unless you're living this with them every day, like this is something else. This sport, this league, this time right now, and I specifically, I mean, baseball is difficult. Then you're looking at our league is really, really good. I mean, really, really good. That's the 11th place team. That team is in first place or second place in any other league in the country right now. No question about that. So how they've handled the degree of difficulty in that, including winning a game on Friday on the road against that caliber team, high marks. So where do you go? You go with where do we need to improve and be better, and completely leave it at that. And like I said, I will stand up for them as far as their motivation to be the best as much as any team that you possibly could. And so I'm looking forward to them responding with their character this week.
How much do you think Ty's rhythm got upset by all the discussion with umpires from you and the Auburn coach?
I think it had an effect, but what I love about Ty is he and I had a conversation yesterday morning about it, and he's like, it definitely affected me, and I can't let it affect me. And it's just like, that's all I need to know. Like, he's going to come out and he's going to pitch great this week. And that was very impressive up until that point. And I mean, literally to the point where, there was a thought, as bad as it was getting off the rails, and he walked like 3 or 4 guys, of leaving him in the game because of the execution to that point. And so I think he's really grown. Again, the starting pitcher's job is to give his team a chance to win. Would you like to have him in the 5th inning there, or the 6th inning? Absolutely. But at that point, he leaves the game. We're losing 3-2. So he technically did his job. And would we like more? Yes. Would he like more? Yes. Has he done more? Yes. And I think he will. And I take a lot of positives from what I saw from him right there. And I think he'll be in a good spot. And I love them. That's our team. Is like, hey, yeah, this might have had an impact, but I have to be above that to execute. So that's why he'll continue to do good for us and be a great pro pitcher from somebody.
We're all going to talk about the pitching, but I'm sure you're really looking at the left on base numbers, just the opportunity.
Yes and no. I think credit Auburn for sure. When you get guys on base, which we do as one of the highest on base percentage teams in the country, you're going to leave more on. If you get a hit or 2 more on Saturday, it's a different game. And again, like, we were on base in the right spots in our order. And again, you take somebody like Dylan for granted because he comes through 90% of the time. I mean, it wasn't until last week, I think, and it wasn't this weekend, he left the guy on third with less than 2 outs. He was literally 1,000% at getting the guy in. I mean, that's amazing, this deep into the season. And, we could be better and need to be better and have been better and will be better. We'll just go back to work on being tighter in our plan and not letting the situation get bigger than that plan, as they've done time and time again. And again, it's week 8, I think, if I'm counting right in the league. I'll take our team with runners on base and runners in scoring position over anybody.
What was the reason for the ejection in game 2?
I don't really know, honestly. Like, Josh Jordan is like the best guy and the best character guy in the world, to the point where I don't even know if they knew who they were ejecting, and then it became a thing. Like, I read the report, but I still don't know why he got ejected. Like, I don't know.
Would y'all have SEC calls like football does on Monday mornings? Y'all?
No, we don't. And you know what? I think the umpire in the league is great. I do. So, on the record with every camera here, the umpiring in the SEC is fantastic. We were upset. I mean, they missed a blatant balk call the inning before, so I was upset about that. And then, as far as Ty's move, he's a great athlete with quick feet and has a really good pickoff move, and didn't see what they saw. And I brought the previous call to that one. It's like, how did you not see that and pick up a balk right there? Like, that's what I was upset about. And I let John, the home plate umpire, know that, and our dugout wasn't too happy about it. But there was 25 guys behind me that weren't happy about it, and they said the guy in the gray shirt is ejected. Well, we were wearing gray uniforms. Okay, so that doesn't narrow it down, but Jamie Tutko was wearing a gray shirt and not a uniform. So I went back and was like, hey, Jamie, you're ejected. He's like, what? No, but he said the guy in the gray shirt. So, so the guy in the gray shirt left, and then a couple hitters, whatever it was later, they said Josh Jordan, and I don't think I've heard Josh Jordan use a curse word since I've known him. So I don't know. I still don't know is the answer.
Do you like coaching third base? Or is
No,
that something you're-
no, I don't. No, I did. I used to like it a lot, and then now pretty much 3 seasons of not doing it. At least for our team this year right now, I can most positively help our players being in the dugout. So, he'll be back, and our assistant coaches are important, and how we operate is important, from what I do, from what Wes does, from what Josh, what Mark do. And we need to keep that intact, and we will. Those guys won't be getting ejected from games. I can promise you that.
I think at the beginning of the season you said that getting Thatcher Hurd into the rotation will be the key to winning long term. Is that still a belief of yours, or do you like his reliever role?
I like him pitching the way he's been pitching the last few times, and that was an excellent performance on Friday night, and so I don't have the answer to that yet without looking at Mississippi State yet, or we have a game tomorrow, so we'll evaluate that. But he'll be on the mound. He'll be one of the key guys, and I think with the way he's pitching, that's going to be good for us.
Paul, not this week, but the past week, was talking about how he sort of prepares and went into detail with all the video stuff that he looks at. Could you sort of comment on that and sort of what makes sort of him unique when it just comes to his preparation?
Yeah, he's the best that I've seen at it. Kind of that, I'm trying to think of maybe like a good example that everybody here would know about. But as a coach, when a player is really good at that, it really, really stands out. And his really stands out from the physical part of it to how he does what he does. Like, Sunday is a heavy lifting day for him. So to see the work that he was putting in yesterday, after the start on Friday, to the bullpen day, which is tomorrow, on a Tuesday, amazing. The video, the scouting prep, really take a lot of pride in that, with our whole staff. And as a player, he does that. I'll walk in the players' lounge, and he's in there, with the video up, and he's taking notes. It's as good as I've ever seen, and that's just another. You compare that kind of stuff and physical ability and natural talent with the self-awareness and preparation. Yeah, Paul Skeens.
It's pretty clear that he's a pretty curious guy. Did you know that coming in when you were?
I just knew the competitive DNA, character, makeup, whatever you want to call it, it's not out there with 18 to 21-year-old male college baseball players very often. Like, I mean, his talent is exceptional, but the work ethic to get to the next layer of improvement the way he has in his short time here is ridiculous. And then you add the ability to prepare, like you've been doing this your whole life, and with the care level that he does it, it's special. Like, it's not out there.
I don't know if you can comment on this as a coach, but just do you see him and Cruz interacting a lot with one another?
Yeah, they're the best. Yeah, it's again, like, and I'll talk about it every time that we meet and get together. It's just they're extraordinary players, extraordinary talent, extraordinary makeup, extraordinary character. They have everything in the world to look forward to, and they are completely immersed in our team in the present. I mean, this university will have a lot to thank them for, just in terms of not just the players they are, but how they represent themselves. And, that should be talked about a lot. And I know it is, and they deserve every bit of it.
Has it helped you as a recruiter just to have those two guys, the potential number 1 and number 2 picks? And
Absolutely,
be able to draft? Like, how has that sort of helped you?
Well, there's every player that we're going to recruit has a dream of being a major league player or a high draft pick. And, I mean, I don't know that in 2 years' time you can have a better example of having the first college position player picked 2 years in a row and then having the first college pitcher picked. Like, great players are coming here, and great players are getting developed here. And for me, that's the message of, that coming to fruition the way that it has. And, I hope players are seeing it, whether it's recruits, transfer portal guys, high school, it doesn't matter. And it's really exciting. And, whoever's up there in the draft, they're going to be very happy, with both those guys.
With, like, bringing a player back from Tommy John surgery like Javen Coleman, what is the process of getting him back? What does that look like to get him back to where he is now?
Well, you get a really high-end doctor to do the surgery, which he did that, which all of our guys have the opportunity to do, playing here. There's been some cutting-edge stuff recently with the surgery that is good, that's allowing them to heal, recover a little bit quicker. He's a good example of that. There's a point where you're in a brace. Then there's a point where, you're just basically working on getting your arm to be able to extend fully, because with what they do in there, that's a step. There's a throwing program. There's a strengthening of the shoulder and the other muscles in your arm that you don't want to go sideways because of the elbow piece of it. And there's basically a progression to get you back to being able to get on the mound. And then there's another layer of rest time in there. And then there's another layer of getting to competitive pitching. And again, credit to Javen, he's recovered as good as anybody that I've ever seen.
When it comes to, I know Dr. Meister has been kind of referenced as the go-to guy for this. How did that connection come about? Is that just he's the best in the country? Is he the same guy you'd use at other programs? Or
yeah, there's 3 that kind of are at the top. Obviously Dr. Andrews, everybody knows him, and then Neil Elatraj, California, and then Dr. Meister in Texas. And, he's obviously well thought of. I think he's doing some things right now with, not only repairing, but using an internal brace that is kind of helping that healing process and stabilizing it a little bit more. And it's had some recent success. And it's one of the more innovative developments, in this surgery. If you think about it, very few injuries now where it takes over a year to come back from, and so this is very specific to pitching in baseball. So that's exciting. I think it's really good, and how that goes, word of mouth and credibility, just as you're talking about with developing players for Major League Baseball, doctors and doing surgery, he has a lot of credibility, and I just like him because he's a regular guy that communicates, that knows the goal of the player, and knows the goals of our team and program and has really helped us out.
Everybody's gonna say not to panic, you know, don't panic, whatever. Is that your message?
I don't even use that word. I mean, we're a no drama program. That's why we're 37-10 and, you know, top of, you know, the league and college baseball and all those types of things. Like, yeah, I don't think that's a deal. There's a difference between having intentionality and urgency in what you're doing and panic. I mean, panic's drama, intensity, and urgency is a plan.
If you look around what happened in the league this week, and it kind of gives you an even better perspective.
Oh yeah, I mean it's is what it is, and it's like when I say things, I actually believe them. Like team 1 to team 14, it does not matter. It's what you have to do to win is the same against every team in our league, and you know, again, I don't know that it doesn't mean there's other good teams out there. I mean, Stanford's a really good team, Wake Forest a really good team. There's tons of really good teams out there, but the week in, week out challenge of having to be at your best and bring it in all phases of the game, both mentally, physically, emotionally, this is the ultimate test, and we're better for that, and we'll be better for that. And, you know, I mean, I'd have to – I mean, it's only somebody else in the SEC is as tested as our LSU team right now.
Thanks.
Good? All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.